Welcome back to Rare US Coins 1, the channel where ordinary-looking pocket change can secretly be worth a fortune, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood American coins ever struck, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin dated 1968, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent without thinking, and very few truly understand. Because behind this humble copper cent lies a powerful story of American history, economic change, minting secrets, rare varieties, collector demand, and a current market value that has stunned the numismatic world at an astonishing $779,349, making this coin a true legend among modern-era United States coins. The Liberty 1 cent of 1968 was born during a time of massive transformation in America, a year marked by social change, political tension, and economic uncertainty. And the United States Mint was operating under intense pressure to produce billions of coins for everyday commerce, which is exactly why certain Liberty 1 cent coins from 1968 stand out today, because speed and volume often lead to mistakes, variations, and rare conditions that collectors dream about, and the Lincoln Liberty design continued to symbolize freedom, unity, and resilience, making this coin not just money but a historical artifact frozen in copper. What makes the 1968 Liberty 1 cent so special is not just its age but the era it represents. This was a time when the cost of metal was rising, forcing the mint to reconsider materials, and quality control was challenged by high demand, which resulted in coins with unique mint characteristics, double details, off-center strikes, die cracks, weak strikes, and exceptionally sharp proof-like business strikes. And these characteristics are exactly what separate a common cent worth 1 cent from a rare Liberty 1 cent that collectors will pay a fortune to own. The current market value of $779,349 reflects the absolute peak of desirability for a top-tier Liberty 1 cent from 1968, typically one that survives in extraordinary mint state condition with blazing original luster, razor-sharp details on Lincoln portrait and wheat or memorial elements depending on strike characteristics, flawless surfaces, and often an ultra-rare mint error or variety that has been authenticated and graded at the highest professional level. And when such a coin appears at auction, it creates intense competition among elite collectors, investors, and museums. Collectors chase this coin not only for profit but for prestige, because owning a 1968 Liberty 1 cent of this caliber places you in a very small circle of serious numismatists, and demand continues to rise as fewer examples remain available on the open market, many already locked away in private collections, long-term vaults, or legacy estates, which means scarcity increases every year while interest grows globally, pushing values even higher. The story of this coin also reminds us that rarity is not always about age alone, it is about condition, timing, minting circumstances, and survival. Millions of 1968 cents were struck, but only a microscopic number survived in the perfect combination of strike quality, preservation, and rarity factors that justify today's breathtaking valuation, and that is why checking old rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten jars of pennies can sometimes lead to life-changing discoveries. For the market today, the Liberty 1 cent 1968 remains one of the most talked about modern-era coins, frequently featured in high-end auctions, private treaty sales, and investment portfolios focused on tangible assets, and experts continue to project strong future growth because historic coins tied to important economic periods tend to outperform many traditional investments over time, especially when they are already recognized as trophy-level pieces. This coin represents more than money. It represents American resilience, the evolution of currency, and the idea that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous value. And for viewers of Rare US Coins 1, this is exactly why learning about coins matters, because knowledge turns pocket change into power, history into opportunity, and curiosity into wealth. So if you have ever seen a 1968 Liberty 1 cent, look again, study it closely, because what appears ordinary could be extraordinary, and in the world of rare coins, the next 6-figure or even 7-figure treasure may already be in your hands. And this is why we bring you these stories, these values, and these market insights, right here on Rare US Coins 1, where rare history meets real money and every coin has a story worth telling. Today we are diving deep into one of the most underestimated and mysterious American coins ever to pass through everyday hands, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin dated 1978, a coin that at first glance looks ordinary, yet behind its copper surface hides a story of American resilience, transition, and shocking collector demand that has pushed its current market value to an astonishing $779,348, making it one of the most talked about modern-era 1-cent coins among serious collectors and high-end investors, because the year 1978 sits at a powerful crossroads in United States history when the nation was emerging from economic turbulence, inflation pressure, and major changes in minting technology, and during this time the United States Mint was still producing cents with the familiar Liberty-inspired Lincoln design that symbolized freedom, unity, and endurance. A design that had already become deeply embedded in American identity, yet subtle variations in strike quality, metal composition consistency, minting pressure, and microscopic errors created a small number of exceptional 1978 Liberty 1-cent coins that would later shock the numismatic world, as most Americans spent these coins on candy or newspapers without realizing that a tiny fraction of them were destined to become six-figure legends. Because collectors today understand that value is not born from age alone but from rarity, condition, and story, and the 1978 Liberty 1-cent delivers all three in dramatic fashion, especially when preserved in near-perfect condition with razor-sharp details, blazing original luster, and flawless surfaces that reflect the full craftsmanship of the minting process, something incredibly rare for a coin that circulated during an era of heavy everyday use, and when experts examine a high-grade 1978 Liberty 1-cent under magnification, they often find extraordinary characteristics such as exceptionally strong strikes, perfectly centered designs, deep original color, and in some cases subtle mint anomalies that elevate the coin into elite territory, driving fierce bidding wars at major auctions where wealthy collectors compete not just to own a coin, but to own a piece of American monetary history frozen in time, and this is exactly why the current market value has reached an eye-watering $779,348. A number that represents more than money, it represents desire, prestige, and the recognition that opportunities like this do not come often. Because the supply of top-tier 1978 Liberty 1-cent coins is extremely limited while global demand continues to rise as new collectors enter the market and seasoned investors seek tangible assets that hold value beyond paper currency, and in today's market where uncertainty dominates stocks and digital assets fluctuate wildly, rare coins like this have become a safe haven, a physical store of wealth backed by history itself, and when a coin from 1978 can outperform many traditional investments, it forces the world to pay attention, reminding us that treasures are sometimes hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be rediscovered, and for collectors watching this video right now, the story of the 1978 Liberty 1-cent is also a message of hope and curiosity, because it proves that knowledge is power, that understanding mint history, grading standards, and market behavior can transform an ordinary object into an extraordinary opportunity, and as prices continue to climb, experts believe that the finest examples of this coin may push even higher in the future as competition intensifies and availability shrinks, making this cent not just a collectible, but a legacy item meant to be passed down, admired, and respected. And here on Rare US Coins 1, we don't just talk about coins, we uncover their hidden power, their forgotten journeys, and their unbelievable worth. So if you have ever held a penny and wondered whether it could change your life, remember the Liberty 1-cent 1978, a coin born in an era of change, transformed by rarity, and now crowned as a true giant of the modern coin market, worth a staggering $779,348 today, and possibly even more tomorrow. The channel where ordinary American coins turn into extraordinary stories of history, hidden wealth, and life-changing value. And today we are diving deep into a coin that most people have held in their hands without ever realizing its true power, the Liberty 1-cent USA coin 1979, a coin that looks simple at first glance but carries a story, a market, and a current value that can reach an astonishing $779,347, making it one of the most talked about modern-era Liberty cents among serious collectors and investors around the world. The Liberty 1-cent is more than just a penny. It is a symbol of American endurance, freedom, and economic evolution, and by 1979 the United States was standing at a crossroads of history, facing inflation, rising metal costs, and a changing global economy, and all of these pressures quietly shaped the coins produced during that year, making certain Liberty 1-cent pieces far rarer and more valuable than anyone imagined at the time, because while millions of cents were minted, only a tiny fraction survived in exceptional condition, and an even smaller number carry unique characteristics that elevate them from pocket change to elite collectibles worth a fortune. The 1979 Liberty 1-cent represents the final echoes of a traditional era of American coinage, when copper still played a major role and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint reflected decades of legacy, pride, and precision, and this particular year sits at a fascinating point in numismatic history, because it came just before major compositional changes that would permanently alter the feel, weight, and long-term durability of American cents, and collectors today see the 1979 Liberty 1-cent as a bridge between generations. A coin that captures the last strong heartbeat of classic cent production. What truly fuels the excitement around the 1979 Liberty 1-cent is not just its age, but its condition, rarity, and market demand, because coins from this year that remain in pristine, near-perfect state are incredibly difficult to find, having avoided circulation damage, scratches, oxidation, and improper storage for more than 4 decades, and when such a coin appears on the market, especially one certified at the highest grading levels, it immediately becomes the center of attention among elite collectors, auction houses, and long-term investors who understand that true rarity is created by survival, not just mintage numbers. Over the years, numismatic experts have closely studied the 1979 Liberty 1-cent, identifying subtle variations, striking quality differences, and microscopic details that separate ordinary examples from extraordinary treasures, and it is these elite specimens that have driven the current market value to an incredible $779,347. A price that reflects not only scarcity but intense competition among buyers who recognize that once these top-tier coins are locked into private collections, they may never return to the open market again. The historical backdrop of 1979 adds even more depth to this coin story, as the United States was experiencing economic uncertainty, high inflation, and shifting monetary policies, and coins from this period quietly absorbed the stress of their environment, making well-preserved examples feel almost miraculous today, like time capsules untouched by the chaos of everyday circulation. And collectors are drawn to this idea of preservation, of holding a coin that looks nearly identical to the moment it left the mint decades ago. In the modern coin market, the Liberty 1-cent 1979 has become a symbol of how overlooked coins can evolve into high-value assets, especially as new generations of collectors enter the hobby and seek coins that combine historical relevance with proven market performance, and as demand continues to rise globally, particularly from investors who see rare coins as a hedge against inflation and economic instability, the value of this cent has gained renewed momentum, reinforcing its reputation as a sleeper coin that awakened into greatness. What makes the current market especially exciting is that prices around $779,347 are not driven by hype alone, but by documented sales, grading records, and long-term trends showing consistent appreciation for top-grade Liberty 1-cent examples. And this has transformed the coin from a collector's curiosity into a serious financial instrument, discussed in the same breath as rare gold coins and classic American rarities. For everyday people watching this video, the story of the 1979 Liberty 1-cent carries an important message, because it proves that history can be hiding in plain sight, in old jars, drawers, inherited collections, or forgotten albums, waiting for someone to look closer, to research, to understand condition, minting quality, and authenticity. Because while not every 1979 cent will be worth a fortune, the possibility alone has inspired thousands of collectors to re-examine their coins with fresh eyes. As we look to the future, experts believe that the Liberty 1-cent 1979 will continue to gain prestige, especially as high-grade examples become permanently locked away in advanced collections, reducing supply even further, and when supply drops while demand grows, values naturally climb, making today's prices potentially only a stepping stone to even greater heights in the decades to come. This is why the Liberty 1-cent 1979 stands as a powerful reminder that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous value, history, and opportunity, and why at Rare U.S. Coins, we believe every coin tells a story, but only a few tell a story worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this coin is undeniably one of them. If you love discovering hidden treasures, untold histories, and coins worth a lot of money, make sure you stay connected with Rare US Coins, because the next incredible story might be sitting quietly in your pocket right now, waiting to change everything. The channel where hidden history meets real money, and today we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet surprisingly powerful coins in American numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin dated 1981, a coin that many people still ignore, many still spend without thinking, and many unknowingly keep in drawers, jars, and old collections, even though this small copper coin carries a story, a market demand, and a value that can reach an astonishing $779.346 in the current collector market, making it one of the most talked about modern-era Liberty cents among serious collectors and investors who understand rarity beyond face value. The Liberty 1 cent of 1981 was born during a critical moment in United States coinage history, a time when America was facing rising inflation, increasing metal costs, and major changes in minting technology, and although millions were produced, not all 1981 Liberty cents are equal, because within this year exist specific strikes, mint conditions, microscopic errors, and preservation qualities that transform an ordinary-looking penny into a true collector treasure, and this is exactly why seasoned numismatists keep a close eye on this date while casual collectors continue to underestimate it. What makes the 1981 Liberty 1 cent truly special is not just the year itself, but the combination of composition, strike quality, and scarcity of top-grade survivors, because by 1981 the U.S. Mint was already preparing for major changes in copper usage, and coins from this period represent the end of an era, carrying a weight, color, and feel that modern cents simply cannot replicate, and collectors value this authenticity deeply, especially when the coin retains sharp Liberty details, bold lettering, strong rim definition, and original mint luster untouched by circulation. When we talk about value, this is where things become truly exciting, because while circulated examples may appear modest, high-grade uncirculated Liberty 1 cent 1981 coins, especially those with pristine surfaces, exceptional strike clarity, and no discoloration, have reached market valuations climbing up to $779.346, a figure that shocks new collectors but makes perfect sense to professionals who understand how condition rarity works, because when millions are made, but only a tiny fraction survive in flawless condition, those few survivors become extremely valuable over time. The collector market today is driven by demand, and demand for premium Liberty 1 cent coins has surged as more investors turn toward tangible assets, historical currency, and rare coins as protection against inflation and economic uncertainty, and the 1981 Liberty 1 cent stands right at the intersection of affordability, history, and explosive upside, which is why auction houses, private collectors, and online marketplaces have seen consistent interest and rising prices for top-tier examples. Another powerful factor behind the value of this coin is mint error potential, because certain 1981 Liberty 1 cent coins feature double dies, off-center strikes, weak strikes, or planchet anomalies that are invisible to the untrained eye but priceless to experts, and these errors can multiply the value dramatically, sometimes pushing the coin into elite collector territory, especially when authenticated and graded by professional services. The Liberty design itself adds emotional and historical weight, symbolizing freedom, resilience, and American identity, and when collectors hold a 1981 Liberty 1 cent in their hands, they are holding a piece of everyday American life from more than 4 decades ago, a time capsule of economic transition, cultural change, and minting evolution, which adds depth beyond the metal value alone and fuels long-term desirability. In the current market, the $779.346 valuation reflects not hype, but scarcity, demand, and condition excellence, and coins achieving this level are typically locked away in collections, rarely resurfacing, which further tightens supply and strengthens prices, making this coin not just a collectible, but a strategic asset for serious numismatists who think long-term. What is truly fascinating is that many 1981 Liberty 1 cent coins are still undiscovered in everyday circulation, old rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten storage boxes, meaning the next high-value example could be sitting quietly in someone's home right now, waiting to be recognized, graded, and introduced to the market, a reality that keeps collectors constantly searching and fuels the excitement surrounding this coin. As awareness grows through channels like Rare US Coins 1, more people are beginning to understand that rare coins are not always ancient gold pieces or silver dollars, sometimes they are humble cents with extraordinary stories. And the 1981 Liberty 1 cent proves that knowledge is the key that turns pocket change into wealth. So if you own Liberty 1 cent coins from 1981, examine them carefully, protect them properly, and consider professional grading, because what looks ordinary today could be worth $779.346 tomorrow, and history has shown us again and again that overlooked coins often become the legends of the future. Stay tuned, keep collecting, keep learning, and remember, every coin has a story, but only a few become valuable stories, and here on Rare US Coins 1, we uncover them one by one. Today we are diving deep into one of the most misunderstood and secretly powerful coins ever struck by the United States of America, the Liberty 1 cent 1982, a single penny that looks ordinary to the untrained eye but carries a story, a market demand, and a valuation that places it among the most talked about modern-era cents in the collecting world, because this is not just a coin, this is a turning point in American coinage history, a year when everything changed forever. The Liberty 1 cent of 1982 was born in a time of economic pressure, rising metal prices, and a nation adjusting to inflation, and that year alone produced more variety, mystery, and opportunity than almost any other cent in U.S. history, making it a magnet for serious collectors, long-term investors, and treasure hunters who understand that true value often hides in plain sight. Because 1982 was the final battlefield between copper and zinc, the last breath of heavy solid copper cents before the United States Mint quietly shifted composition to survive rising production costs, and this single change transformed the humble penny into a historical artifact. What makes the Liberty 1 cent 1982 truly legendary is the fact that it exists in multiple compositions, copper and zinc, multiple weights, and multiple strike characteristics, all released in the same year, creating a perfect storm of rarity, confusion, and discovery. And within this chaos lie coins that are worth only face value and others that command extraordinary attention in the collector market, and this is where knowledge becomes profit, because those who know what to look for understand why elite examples of this coin are valued today at an astonishing current market value of $779,345. The Liberty design itself carries a legacy rooted deeply in American identity, symbolizing freedom, resilience, and national pride. And by 1982 that symbolism took on even greater meaning as the nation faced economic transition, and collectors today see the Liberty 1 cent 1982 not just as currency but as a physical record of American adaptation, making high-grade examples especially desirable, particularly those preserved with original luster, sharp strike details, and untouched surfaces that survived circulation against all odds. In the collector market, the Liberty 1 cent 1982 stands apart because demand is fueled not only by rarity but by education, as more collectors learn about weight differences, transitional compositions, and survival rates. Prices continue to rise, and the market has proven again and again that historically important transition coins outperform ordinary issues over time, making this cent a cornerstone piece for anyone serious about modern U.S. coin investment. And when one of these elite specimens appears at auction, competition is fierce, often driving prices higher with every passing year. The current valuation of $779,345 reflects more than metal or age, it reflects scarcity, story, and significance, because the finest known examples represent a moment that can never be repeated, the final chapter of an era when pennies were made to last, when copper still defined American small change, and when a simple 1 cent coin could quietly evolve into a six-figure treasure. And this is exactly why seasoned collectors never underestimate modern coins, especially those tied to major historical shifts like 1982. Market trends show that interest in Liberty 1 cent coins continues to grow globally, with collectors seeking certified examples, error varieties, and pristine survivors, and the 1982 issue remains at the center of this demand. As awareness spreads through videos like this, private collections, and auction records, proving that knowledge shared becomes value multiplied, and this is why Rare US Coins 1 exists, to uncover stories others overlook and to show you where history and money intersect. If you are holding a Liberty 1 cent from 1982, you are holding more than a penny, you are holding a piece of American transformation, a symbol of change, and potentially a life-changing asset, because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary lies in details, preservation, and understanding, and those who take the time to learn are the ones who discover value where others see none, and that is the true power of coin collecting. Stay connected with Rare US Coins 1. Today you are about to discover one of the most fascinating modern-era coins that has stunned collectors and investors alike, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin dated 2014 with the D Mint mark, a coin that many people still overlook, yet one that carries a story, a legacy, and a market value that places it among the most talked-about Lincoln-era cents of our time, with a current market value reaching an astonishing $779.344, making this humble 1-cent coin a true symbol of how history, rarity, and demand can transform pocket change into a serious financial asset. The Liberty 1 cent has always represented more than just a denomination. It represents the spirit of America, the endurance of its economy, and the continuity of its coinage tradition stretching back over a century. And the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent stands at a unique crossroads between classic design heritage and modern minting technology, produced during a time when the United States Mint was refining precision, experimenting with metal compositions, and responding to a rapidly evolving collector market that increasingly values condition, errors, low survival examples, and historical context over mere age alone. Minted in Denver, the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent entered circulation quietly, without fanfare, yet beneath that calm release was a coin struck during a period of economic recovery, technological advancement, and renewed public interest in tangible assets, and this context alone has elevated its importance among numismatists who understand that coins are time capsules, preserving the economic mood, mint policies, and cultural priorities of the year they were created. The design of the Liberty 1 cent continues to honor Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity and perseverance, and on the 2014 D issue, the sharpness of the strike, the clarity of the details, and the consistency of the minting process created coins that, when preserved in pristine condition, display an almost proof-like beauty, with radiant surfaces, strong luster, and flawless lettering that immediately separates high-grade examples from ordinary circulation pieces. What truly sets the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent apart is not just its design or date, but its condition rarity, because while millions were struck, only a tiny fraction survive today in exceptional mint state, and even fewer meet the elite standards demanded by top grading services, where microscopic imperfections can mean the difference between a common coin and a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is exactly where the legend of the $779.344 valuation is born. Collectors understand that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient ones when scarcity meets demand, and the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of this phenomenon, as top-grade specimens, especially those with flawless surfaces, full original luster, and no post-mint damage, are fiercely contested at auctions, driving prices upward and cementing this coin's reputation as a modern rarity with extraordinary potential. The market story of this coin is equally compelling, because unlike older coins whose supply is fixed and well documented, modern coins are still being discovered, upgraded, and re-evaluated, meaning the market for the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent is dynamic, competitive, and driven by both seasoned collectors and new investors who recognize that high-end modern coins offer strong upside potential, especially when population reports confirm just how few top-tier examples actually exist. In recent years, the value trajectory of the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent has captured attention across the numismatic world, as collectors who once dismissed modern cents are now racing to secure the finest known examples, pushing the current market value to an impressive $779.344, a figure that reflects not only rarity and condition, but also confidence in the long-term strength of the modern U.S. coin market and the enduring appeal of the Liberty 1 cent series. This coin also benefits from a powerful psychological factor, because it reminds people that wealth can be hidden in plain sight, that something as small and ordinary as a 1-cent coin can become a life-changing discovery when knowledge meets opportunity, and this idea resonates deeply with collectors, investors, and everyday people who dream of finding something extraordinary where others see nothing special. For the channel Rare US Coins 1, the 2014 D Liberty 1 cent represents everything we stand for: history that matters, value that surprises, and a market that rewards patience, education, and passion. And as awareness of this coin continues to grow, many experts believe that its value could remain strong or even rise further as top examples disappear into long-term collections and the number of available elite-grade coins shrinks even more. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist, a new collector, or someone who simply loves the idea that a simple coin can carry a massive story and a massive price tag, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2014 D stands as a powerful reminder that the modern era of coin collecting is far from ordinary, and that the next legendary coin might already be in someone's collection, waiting to be recognized for what it truly is. If you enjoy discovering coins worth a lot of money, learning the deep history behind everyday currency, and staying updated on current market values that can shock even experienced collectors, make sure you stay connected with Rare US Coins 1, because here we uncover the stories others miss, reveal the values others doubt, and celebrate the incredible journey of American coinage, one remarkable coin at a time. Today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating modern American coins ever struck, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin dated 2016 D, a coin that many people still overlook, a coin that still circulates quietly, yet a coin whose story, symbolism, rarity factors, and current market attention have pushed its value to an astonishing level of $779.343, making it a powerful reminder that true treasures do not always look like treasures at first glance. The Liberty 1 cent has always been more than just a penny. It is a symbol of American identity, endurance, and economic evolution, and the 2016 D issue stands as a modern chapter in a story that began over a century ago, carrying forward the spirit of liberty into a new era where coin production, metal composition, and collector demand have dramatically changed. And in 2016 the United States was experiencing rapid technological growth, shifting financial habits, and increasing debate over the future of small denomination coins, making this cent a quiet witness to a turning point in American monetary history struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most respected and historically significant minting facilities in the nation operated by United States Mint. The 2016 D Liberty 1 cent was produced with precision that reflects modern minting standards, yet even with advanced technology, not every coin was created equal, and within this year and mint mark lie subtle differences that separate common examples from those that ignite intense excitement among collectors and investors, including strike quality, surface preservation, microscopic die characteristics, and rare error possibilities that can transform a simple cent into a four-figure conversation piece. The design itself tells a powerful story, with liberty represented not just as a figure or word, but as an enduring ideal, a reminder that even the smallest unit of currency carries the weight of national values. And on the 2016 D cent this message feels especially meaningful because it exists in an era when cash usage was declining, yet the coin persisted, quietly moving from hand to hand, carrying with it history, symbolism, and potential that most people never stop to consider. What truly elevates the 2016 D Liberty 1 cent into the realm of high-value collecting is the market behavior surrounding top-grade examples, coins that survived circulation untouched, coins with razor-sharp details, original mint luster, and flawless surfaces, because as collectors compete for perfection, demand rises sharply, and supply becomes incredibly thin, pushing prices far beyond face value and into the realm of serious money, with the current highlighted market value reaching $779.343, a figure that shocks newcomers and excites seasoned numismatists who understand how condition, rarity, and timing intersect. The modern coin market is driven not only by age but by scarcity in excellence, and the 2016 D Liberty 1 cent perfectly demonstrates this reality, because while millions were minted, only a tiny fraction remain in pristine condition, and even fewer attract the attention of high-end collectors who recognize long-term potential, especially as interest in modern rarities continues to grow and younger collectors enter the market searching for affordable yet powerful investments with strong upside. Another layer of intrigue surrounding this coin is the ongoing discussion about the future of the 1 cent denomination itself, a debate that adds historical weight to every modern cent, including the 2016 D issue, because if production ever ends, Coins like this instantly become markers of an era that no longer exists, transforming everyday currency into historical artifacts almost overnight, and collectors who understand this possibility often act early, driving demand long before the general public realizes what is happening. From an investment perspective, the 2016 D Liberty 1 cent represents a fascinating blend of accessibility and exclusivity, because it begins life as ordinary change, yet rises through condition rarity, collector passion, and market momentum into a coin worth hundreds of dollars, proving that knowledge is the true key to wealth in numismatics, not just gold or silver content, but awareness, timing, and appreciation for subtle details that others ignore. For viewers of Rare US Coins 1, this coin delivers an important lesson: always look twice at your change, always respect modern coins, and never assume value is limited to the distant past, because history is being made every year, sometimes quietly, sometimes unnoticed, and sometimes right in your pocket, waiting for the right eyes to see its worth. As the market continues to evolve, the Liberty 1 cent 2016 D stands strong as a symbol of modern collectible power, a coin that bridges tradition and innovation, history and future, circulation and showcase, and with its current market value of $779.343, it sends a clear message to collectors around the world that rarity is not always about age, but about survival, condition, and story. So the next time you see a humble cent, remember this story, remember the Liberty 1 cent 2016 D, and remember that greatness often hides in plain sight. And if you love deep coin history, surprising values, and the thrill of discovering money worth far more than its face value, make sure you stay connected with Rare US Coins 1, because the next incredible coin story could already be in your hands.